Hi, this is Barry J. McDonald here, and I'd like to welcome you to this episode from Writecom.com. And today we're going to have a look at, stepping outside your comfort zone. And the title we gave this episode was, You Want to Learn Something? Spend Time with a Trump Supporter. Now, whatever your opinion is on Trump, whether you like him or you dislike him or whatever, for most of us, if we have a different opinion from somebody else, it's easy for us just to switch off and not listen to anything that, has been said. For example, authors and people like that are just self-publishing. It's easy just to, to read all the same content as everybody else. Go to the forums and where all the writers hang out, and read all the posts that they're putting there, and maybe buy all the same writing books as everybody else. And when you do something like that, you don't really actually learn anything other than what the herd is actually following. Sometimes you actually have to maybe read, content that you disagree with, maybe, stepping outside like the writing, self-publishing arena, and maybe going to, places where there's other information that, may be helpful to you. For example, at the moment, I'm listening to a lot of, fitness podcasts, and, although for somebody who is involved in writing, you're probably wondering, well, why would anybody listen to a fitness podcast? But you're going to find a lot of things that they talk about on those podcasts that you won't find on maybe some of the writing podcasts, things like mindset and, how to motivate yourself, not, for the weight loss, like probably how to motivate yourself every day to go and hit the gym. It's the same thing like for a writer, you need to motivate yourself, just to sit down at the keyboard every day. And it's, sometimes when you, again, like the weight loss, when you're not making any progress, it can be very disheartening. And, they give like tips and tricks and things like that you can do. And, setting up kind of morning ritual where you would, put aside all the social media, put aside whatever device you have, and maybe take a few minutes to do some meditation or do something like that to, get your mind in a positive place before you actually start. And, you probably won't find maybe a lot of the podcasts that writers wouldn't kind of, touch on those subjects. And even like when you look at some of those podcasts too, they kind of talk about marketing tips and things like that if they were running gyms, and maybe, how they could reach a larger audience. And some of that stuff you can actually put into practice yourself. And, it's stepping outside, it's listening to people maybe who have a different opinion on you, maybe opening up books that you don't feel comfortable reading. Sometimes you have to, if you get stuck in this kind of mental lane where you have a blinkers on and you're not looking outside it, sometimes you miss out on some great gems that you can use in your business. For example, like some of the examples I'd found from putting this episode together was like, Einstein he didn't major in the field that we all know from him from. There was a theatrical makeup artist who, found a discovery that prevented facial skin infections, and the company 3M, used that information to make a product from it. There was another one then, which was the Dyson, how the Dyson vacuum cleaner came about. It wasn't from anything that the Dyson gentleman in question came up with himself. It was actually something he discovered one day when he was getting some wood cut at a local sawmill, and he noticed how the equipment they had was extracting all the sawdust, and how it wasn't actually, how they were cleaning up all the sawdust and all the waste, and how, the air, whatever was clear in the sawmill, that nobody was breathing in all this sawmill dust and, all the wee fragments. And he used that information then to make the famous Dyson Hoover. So sometimes you have to look outside, the lane that you're in. Sometimes you have to challenge yourself by reading maybe books and things like that maybe you might find difficult to read, might challenge you, like the Trump supporters, because it's easy to get stuck in a mental lane. And, as I said, us being writers and self-publishers, sometimes you're going to find some great nuggets of wisdom outside the field. Because, like, if you're doing everything, you're reading the same content as everybody else, you're reading the same blogs, you're reading the same kind of writing books, at the end of the day, you're just going to come out exactly like everybody else. And that's what you don't want. You want to be different from everybody else. So kind of stepping outside your comfort zone and doing those different things can open you up to new ideas that you mightn't have been you mightn't have been put yourself in front of before. So my name has been Barry J. McDonald. I hope you enjoyed this episode today, and if you'd like to know more about me or you'd like to read more of the blog post, you're highly welcome to come over to writecome.com. That's WRITECOME.com. And we have some great free reports that you can read while you're over there, especially if you're an author. I'm going to show you some ways to promote your books and how to save some money doing so. So again, thanks for listening, and take care and have a great day. Bye-bye.